was a real turning point for me, yeah. And I remember having this convo with my dad, right? My dad stuck it on me one time, right? So I planned to do my first one-man show, and but one time he just said to me, he's like, why do you want to do this? And I was like, well, I feel like I'm ready, like it's the time, it's the right step for me to make. And he goes, okay, like, and I was like, why? I don't understand what the energy is. Like, why are you not giving me? And he goes, okay, cool, I'll be honest. He goes, I've seen you 2 times last year or so. And he goes, I felt like it's a bit mediocre. And I was like, wow. Because I was like, you don't even see me all the time. I'm always gigging. You come every once in a while. Yeah, cool, I had a rough night. Like, I was triggered. I went to the show, and I remember that was the first time I was like stormed out my house, like my parents' house, gone to do this gig in Streatham Comedy Club, and I absolutely murdered it. And I remember one of the things my dad said in that conversation was, cool, it was mediocre those couple of times you're saying it was a one-off thing, but if I went to see Dave Chappelle those times, I feel like I could guarantee the performance. So I come off stage that night after killing it, I was thinking, I understand what you're saying to me. This is not a thing where you want to be gambling. Guarantee your performance. Get it to a standard where you can bank on this thing. And I got off the stage and I texted him, I said, nah, I get what you're saying. That mentally, I engaged with stand-up in a way that I'd never done before. I was like, okay, I've got to
I think with stand-up, you're never satisfied. You always want, which is good, because you always want to be better.
100%.
You know, you always want to be better, you want to work more, you want to do bigger gigs, better gigs, whatever. And, it's really funny when you talk to comedians more successful than you, because they'll be complaining about their career, and you're like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh, I'm doing a national tour, and you're thinking, oh yeah, what a nightmare for you. But and then I want to do more TV, and then they do TV, well, I want to be there, and you're just like, no comedian, I think, is ever happy. We're always wanting to do more, do better gigs, be better comics. But I think that's a sign of a good comedian. Like, I remember watching Jen Brister do Live at the Apollo, right? And I went backstage, she stormed it, and then she came back off and she was like, oh, did it go all right? And I went, are you kidding me? But I think that's a sign of a comic, because like a good comic will come off, have a great gig, and they'll worry about the one joke that in their head didn't fly as much as they should do, even though everyone else thought it was brilliant. And I think that's what keeps you going. I think the worst comics are those who think they've stormed it every time. You get them, they go, I've never died, and you're like, no, but you've never got laughs.
That little glisten.
There's a look in the comic's eyes when you're like, yeah, I smashed it out there. And you're like, you didn't smash that. Like, I remember doing the O2 last year, and there was parts of it I liked and part of it I didn't like. But I was still honest with myself of coming off stage and being like, I don't know if I enjoyed that bit of it, or I did enjoy that bit. And then I'm starting nicking, I kind of like nitpick at things that I was just like, that bit, like for example, I had like a pint glass of water and had a straw, but the straw wasn't big enough for the pint glass. So I had to put 2 straws in it. So I had this extra long straw. I remember coming off stage, it was like, it was the long straw. Why did I have that long straw in the pint glass? It made no sense. So I think sometimes it's very easy to put it on ourselves.
Yeah.
And again, I was like, I could have done. But I think it's like you're saying, it's a sign of a comic who wants to better themselves.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, and for me, like, it was still, I think once I looked back on it and I was like, do you know what? Like, it was just, that's a champagne problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the audience aren't aware of it at all.
Yeah, like, I think there's a level of sometimes when you can do a gig and it's in your head and you have to take yourself back and you're like, there was a time that I would have dreamed to do this or dreamed to be on this bill or to be getting paid what I am, like, for whatever show. And then you just sit there and you're like, do you know what? Okay, cool. It's not as bad.
I will say, I was at your O2 show.
Oh, thank
and I was sat, you're welcome. And I was sat at the back, way at the back of the O2. I couldn't see a straw in the pint glass. It wasn't the straw.
It was an extra long straw. I
It
enjoyed it
wasn't the
so
straw.
much.